Hello friends, in this video today, I'm going to answer the question, can real estate agents flip houses? By the end of this video, you're going to understand how being a real estate agent can enhance your flipping business and what key factors to consider before diving into property flipping. This knowledge will help you make informed decisions and boost your profitability. Have you ever wondered if being a real estate agent can give you an edge when it comes to flipping homes? Are you curious about the unique benefits that might come with that? Well, stay tuned as we break down everything that you need to know by first explaining the strategy of flipping homes and how it works. Next, I'll explain some of the benefits I see that being a real estate agent can have for you when it comes to flipping homes. And finally, I'll detail out some of the flipping strategies I'm currently utilizing and that I'm doing with real estate agents that I work with. If you're ready, let's go. So let's break down flipping real estate to its basic core. So it's when an investor goes in and they purchase a piece of property with the idea to buy it at a very low price and then be able to turn around and sell it at a much higher price in a short period of time. And that is without utilizing that profit for their own personal good. I remember early on in my real estate investing career, I had found these lots that were being sold pretty quickly close to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, just on the Idaho side of the border. And I was one of the first ones in there that had bought some lots in this development. But word had got out that this development was happening, and I had some people come to me and say, listen, do you have any lots that I can buy? And I was able to turn around and sell one of those lots for about 25% higher than the price that I had bought it for. And I was able to do that in a 3-month period of time. Now, this was when things in the real estate market were definitely going up very quickly. And that's typically a very good situation to be in when you're flipping real estate. But even in today's market, when people think there's no opportunities to flip homes or prices are too high or interest rates are too high, I promise you, I know so many people in the real estate world that are doing this every single day in multiple parts of the United States. But this is the important part when it comes to flipping homes. You have to be able to financially analyze that property in order to understand and make sense of it, essentially seeing if there's enough meat on the bone to make it worth your while. And there's some key components to understand when it comes to flipping real estate. First off, you have your purchase price. Now, obviously, this is one of the most important aspects of flipping real estate because if you cannot get that purchase price very low, like I said, there's not going to be enough meat on the bone to make it work. But once you understand that, and there's a lot of calculators out there that can help you understand how to do this, but you have your purchase price, and then you have what's called your ARV. That's the after repair value. That's the price that you can essentially sell it for at market value. Then you've got the money that you need to dump into the property, the costs or the cosmetic expenses that goes into making the property look presentable. And obviously you've got commissions because a lot of times realtors might come on board or closing costs. Now, if you factor all those things in there, you have the purchase price, and then on top of that, you got the cost it's going to take to enhance it and fix up some of the challenges with that property. And then you're able to sell it at the after repair value. If there's enough space within there to make profit, you can absolutely make this strategy work, but you have to understand financially those components. So how do you find these properties at a discount? Well, it's been my experience that there's 2 important factors that you need to understand in order to find properties at a discount, and that is finding distressed properties or distressed sellers. Now, distressed properties are those ones that you see that look like they've been a little bit run down. And ironically, it could just be something as simple as the lawn is overgrown, or the door needs to be painted, or the garage door needs to be replaced. There might be some cosmetic things that you can do to enhance it to make it look much more presentable. And then there's distressed properties that have some real challenges. The foundation isn't stable. The kitchen needs repaired. The bathroom needs replaced. Those are things that cost definitely a lot more money, but things that you need to understand. Those all fall under that umbrella of a distressed property. Now, a distressed seller is somebody who might be falling on hard times. They might be going through, say, a divorce. They might be needing to move for work. They might be in a financial challenge where they're not able to make the payments of their mortgage or their taxes. And here's the thing when it comes to that, because I think people might say, are you taking advantage of a person in a tough situation? And my solution has always been, you need to go to these individuals and have the mindset to be solution oriented. Because there's times where I found these properties that have been owned by a distressed seller. And if I come in with a solution for them, a lot of times I'm helping them out of a bad situation, right? They might have the bank breathing down their neck. They might need to move and not have the funds to be able to pay for a moving truck or maybe nights in a hotel, or they need to move to an apartment. And I've been able to pay for the moving truck. I've been able to pay 2, 3, 4 months worth of rent in an apartment for them and give them cash to help them out of their situation that they're in. Because they might see at that current situation that there might not be any way out. And if I can come with ideas of being creative and solution oriented, many times I can help them leave the situation they're in into a better situation and give them a little bit of solid ground to stand on. I was in this type of situation not too long ago where there was a person that lived not too far from me, and their home had been really, really run down. His wife had been really sick, and he just didn't have the energy or time to fix up his home. And I talked to them. I went and sat down with both of them and said, listen, I'd love to buy your home. This is where I would need to buy it at. And we had agreed upon a price. And it was going to work for them. I had planned to give them some additional money to help them get into place. They were moving to a city that was outside of the city they were living in. I was going to pay for all their moving expenses. And the situation arose where his wife had actually passed away. And it was a challenging situation. The deal ended up not going through. But at that time, I knew that in order for me to really help these individuals, not just buying their home, but providing solutions that would help them accomplish the goal that ultimately they were hoping to accomplish, which was sell their home and move to a different city and have some money to be able to do that. And what I was proposing to them solved all those problems. So now that we understand what flipping real estate is, how it works, let's talk about some of the benefits that a real estate agent would have when it comes to flipping homes. The first thing I think is a benefit for real estate agents is the clientele that they've worked with. Their relationship and associations with other real estate agents is probably going to give them a leg up on being able to find homes maybe quicker than you or I could. Because they have their ear on the railroad track, so to speak. They have a pulse on what's happening, and they have a pulse on some of these homes that might be coming up on the market quicker than we would know about. So there could be that potential advantage of being the first on the scene, so to speak, when a property does pop up. Plus, many real estate agents have access to the MLS, which gives them a list of all the homes that are currently for sale or potentially coming on the market. The second benefit a real estate agent would have when it comes to flipping home is being able to utilize or not utilize the commissions they would be able to receive from the transactions. So for example, let's say that somebody was going to sell their home and they were the one buying it, they could forgive their commissions and save some money there. But let's say that they fix up the home and they were going to flip the home, then they could also receive commissions from the sale of that property and receive as much as an additional 3% on the property once it's sold. So there's definitely some advantages for being a real estate agent when it comes to flipping homes. So now let's talk about some of the strategies I'm currently doing when it comes to flipping real estate in the current economy that we're at right now. And the one that I really enjoy, it's one that I call cash flow flipping. And this is what it is. So I'm looking for properties in the Midwest that I can get at a very low price, right? Just like any flip in any real estate, it's being able to get that house at a very low price that's going to make it feasible for you to then turn around and flip that property. But cash flow flipping works a little bit different. So when I find a home, I'm putting offers on maybe 10 to 15 homes before I'm getting one accepted. And I'm trying to get that anywhere between 25 to 30% below asking price. Now, once I have this home, I'm utilizing private money to help me buy that home outright. So I'm not getting a mortgage. And what I'm doing on this strategy is once the home is bought outright, I will be paying an interest-only payment to the private money lender that gave me that money. Now, I'm going to do interest only. Let's just use a simple example of, let's say the home costed $50,000 and they're charging me 12% interest rate. Well, 12% on a $50,000 loan annually is $6,000. So that's $500 a month. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out and find somebody that wants to rent to own or lease option that property from me. And I'm going to sell that home at $70,000 or $75,000, and that will be the price that they will buy it from me 1 or 2 years down the road. So let's just say it's $70,000 to make the math simple. I'm going to go in and I'm going to charge them an option price to be able to buy that home from me at $70,000 2 years down the road. And that option price on the lease option is anywhere between 2 to 7%. For simple math, let's just say it's $1,000. So I receive that $1,000 right now. That could potentially cover my first 2 months payment. But then the rent I'm going to be charging this individual is going to be anywhere between, let's say, $800 to $1,000, depending on the actual city that I'm in. So the awesome thing to this individual is they're paying rent, but I'm going to count, say, $100 of that rental payment every single month to go towards their down payment. And the $1,000 they gave me as the option price, I'll also count that towards their down payment. So over 2 years, let's say this individual paid my monthly rent, which covered all of my expense to the private money lender, and they've been able to count $100 a month over 24 months. That's $2,400 plus the $1,000 they gave me as an option. They now have $3,400 to go towards a down payment. And when they execute on that and buy that home at $70,000, they then owe me, say, $66,000, right? Around $66,500. And what's going to happen? I take that $66,500, I pay the $50,000, I pocket that $16,500, and the person now owns the home. So I was able to do that strategy with little to no money out of my pocket. So it's a strategy that's working really good right now, because there's a lot of people on the sideline that want to live in a home and buy a home, but they're nervous right now because interest rates are higher. So a rent-to-own strategy works really well. And when I'm finding those homes at this price and turning around and doing a rent-to-own at this price, and then when that executes 1 or 2 years from now, it's a fantastic strategy. And the cool thing about it, with this particular strategy, I'm actually utilizing a real estate agent who helped me find the property, who is also the property manager out there, because I live not in the Midwest, and so I don't have eyes on the property, but this individual that I met as a real estate agent is also to make additional money as a property manager. So these are some things I've done when it comes to flipping homes and utilizing real estate agents, but I'd be interested in what you're doing. And as always, just for stopping by and watching my video, I have a free gift for you. It's aaronsfreetraining.com. It's a short-term rental calculator where you put in all the information, the purchase price, the income, the expenses, and it will spit out to you whether it's a good deal or not. And it's 100% free, no obligation. And once again, thanks for stopping by. Have a fantastic day.